Hey there, thanks for watching. Food spending, eating out, and groceries are some of the highest expenses in most household budgets, and that's followed by transportation costs and housing costs. So with this in mind, I'm going to share with you my strategy for December food spending, how I noticed my spending was out of control, my plan, and what I ultimately ended up accomplishing with my food spending. So if you're interested in seeing how I deal with my out of control food spending and what actually ended up happening, then just keep watching. Okay, so welcome to a new year. This is January of 2022, and I am sharing with you my recap on my December food spending budget. So why start with food spending? And the reason why is because food spending tends to be one of the highest three categories in any personal household budget. So I knew that that was a category that I had to watch. And sure enough, by watching that over the past 3 months, I noticed that surely my food spending had crept up and out of control. So I noticed for the previous months of October and November, my spending had again crept up, which I know is bound to happen because during the colder months and especially during the holidays, people in general tend to spend more on food, eating out, getting together with friends, things like that. And I noticed that my spending for October and November had followed that trend as it does almost every month, but it was getting a little bit too high for my comfort. Especially on my lower income, I really need to watch these numbers. My ultimate goal is financial independence, and the way that I'm doing that is by managing both my income and my expenses. I watch these numbers very, very closely. So I'll share my final numbers at the end of the video, so stay tuned. I'll put a timestamp down below. So my plan going into December was simple. I set a spending target for myself because I knew that I wanted to rein in my food spending, but I also wanted to kind of have a little bit of fun because I love getting together with friends over food, especially eating out, and then planning ahead and doing some meal planning so we can enjoy meals together. So this is something that I really enjoy. And I knew that it would take some planning, but with a little planning, I could make the most of the numbers that I'd set out to hit as far as my spending target goes. I have seen this so often that a little bit of planning saves a lot of money. So I sat down at the end of November and said, I'm really going to make the most of my food budget and do the absolute best that I can to control the money that I have coming in for December especially. So December for me was kind of a clean slate. I said, let me reset the budget and let me plan to enjoy times with friends and family, but also make the most of planning where I can to save some money. So here was my strategy for December when it comes to restaurants, eating out, food out, and then groceries. So I made the decision that I was going to cut all personal spending, personal eating out. And the rule was I had to be with someone in order to eat out. So that for me involved some personal meal planning and starting out with the food that I already had in my fridge and my pantry and using that first before I did any additional shopping and then not going into a restaurant. I don't do that very often for myself. Sometimes I'll pick up Wendy's, but now that I'm not working outside the home, I'm working from home, so I don't tend to pick up fast food all that often. Every now and then I will, but I decided to cut that completely and to really focus in and do some meal planning. So I get paid on the 15th and the 31st of every month, and I knew that on the 31st I would need to make that check last completely through to the middle of the month. So that's what I did. And I actually, when it comes to eating out, I only ate out once with my friend that lives in City Island. We went to a restaurant local to her and we had an amazing time. And I was able to enjoy that time with absolutely no regrets because I knew that I'd made the sacrifices ahead of time and really saved and stuck to my food budget before, so I was able to really enjoy that time with her. We had sushi, which is one of our favorite meals together, and it was just a lovely time, and I managed to stay within my food out budget. So when it came to groceries, I also knew that I would need some strategy here because I do a lot of traveling around the holidays, and I mean just local, like car travel. And by planning ahead a little bit, I can save myself some money rather than having to pick up things locally from a grocery store. If I plan ahead and say, hey, why don't I get things here where I know the prices will be cheaper, and I can go to places like Aldi and Lidl that have lower cost options, then I can save myself money from having to buy brand name options if and when I travel. So that's what I did. And I also tried. Here's what ended up happening with my out of control food spending in my plan to try to go the other way and plan and save money. So I tried to do some meal prepping in advance for family meals because the plan was to go visit family in Delaware for Christmas. And I thought, wouldn't it be nice if we had some meals all ahead of us, all made ahead of us, so all we needed to do was put them in the oven and warm them up, be ready to go, rather than scrambling. So I did a big giant food shop and I put together these meals. And the funny thing that happened was I'd meal prepped 3 meals and we ate not one of those meals. We ended up ordering Chinese food on Christmas Eve and ate that all Christmas Day, and that was it. Nobody really wanted anything else. It was a smaller group, so I should have known that. We ate not one of those meals that I had planned, and I ended up bringing that food back home, and I didn't even eat it at home because by then it was a little bit old, and I was like, well, that was kind of a waste of time and money. But it was much better to have planned ahead and to not need the food than to wish that I had planned ahead and made the food in advance and be scrambling. So I'll take that. It was a bit of a hit, but I will take that and try to keep on rolling with that. So that's what happened to my best laid meal plans. But the good news is my food spending was not out of control for December. In fact, my food spending actually came in under budget for December, which was great news. Okay, so here are my final food spending numbers for you. Now I will share October and November so you can see in comparison what I spent and why I knew I needed to kind of rein it in for December. So for October, for restaurants and food out, I spent $461. For groceries, I spent $344 for a total of $805 on food in general, total. For November, I spent $644 on food out, $361 for groceries, for a total of $1,005 for November. So it was kind of a little bit out of control, and that was my first clue that I needed to rein in December. So for December, for food out, I spent $173. For groceries, I spent $356 for a total of $529 total, which was not too bad at all. I had set my December budget at $700. So I actually came in under budget for December, despite my meal planning sort of snafu situation. So there you have it. That was my food budget recap, my out of control spending brought back under control, but my meal plans kind of went a little awry. Still, I would rather do the planning and do the work than not do the planning and wish I had, although I will certainly be rethinking my strategy going forward. So there you have it. That's the story of my food spending and where I am, or where I spent for the holidays in December. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. I know December can be a tough month. Let me know how you did for your food spending in December. I love hearing from you. Your comments make my day, so please leave a comment. And thank you as always for watching, and I hope you'll keep watching. Bye.